Hello and welcome to Hope Hub. I'm talking about signs there may still be unforgiveness. Number one, you feel disturbed when the offender prosper. One hidden sign of unforgiveness is the discomfort when the person succeeds or is celebrated or experiences a blessing. Inside there may be thoughts like, after what they did to me, or they don't deserve that, or why is life working out for them? Unforgiveness struggles to rejoice when grace reaches the offender. Number two, you repeatedly replay the hurt. If the offense constantly replays in your mind with fresh emotional intensity, it may indicate the wound is not fully healed. The memory itself is not the problem. It is the continual emotional attachment to the injury. Number three, you avoid them out of bitterness rather than wisdom. There's a difference between healthy boundaries and bitterness-driven avoidance. Ask yourself, if I never saw this person again, would I feel peace or hidden hostility? Number four, you secretly want them to suffer. Unforgiveness often desires emotional repayment. You may not act outwardly, but inwardly you feel satisfaction when they fail, or pleasure when they struggle, or disappointment when they are doing well. This reveals unresolved bitterness. Number four, you constantly speak negatively about them. A wounded heart often leaks through speech. If conversations repeatedly return to exposing them, criticizing them, shaming them, or retelling their offense, it may mean that the hurt is still holding on to pain. Number six, their name is still triggers strong emotional reactions. You may notice such sudden anger, anxiety, agitation, emotional heaviness, or inattention. Strong emotional reactions can reveal unprocessed wounds. Number seven, you withhold love from others because of what one person did. Sometimes unforgiveness spreads beyond the offender. A person betrayed in one relationship may distrust everyone, close their heart, become emotionally cold, struggle with intimacy, stop believing in people. The wounds begins shaping their entire life. The next question, what if you feel nonchalant about your enemies? This is important because nonchalantance can mean different things. There is one, healthy peace and detachment, or two, emotional numbness and unresolved hardness. The difference matters. Healthy peace looks like you are no longer emotionally controlled by them. You no longer wish them harm. You have surrendered the situation to God. You can pray for them if needed. You feel free internally. You are not obsessed with the offense. This can actually be a sign of healing. Not every forgiven relationship returns to emotional warmth. Some simply lose emotional power over you. This is maturity. But numbness or harshness looks like, I don't care what happens to them. Emotional coldness, complete lack of compassion, hidden contempt, suppressed anger, refusal to acknowledge pain, and sometimes people call this moving on, but in reality they have only buried the wound. A hardened heart often says, they mean nothing to me, I absolutely feel nothing, I have erased them. But true healing does not usually produce hardness. It produces freedom and peace. Forgiveness does not always restore affection. This is very important to understand. You may forgive someone without trusting them again, without feeling emotionally close, and without restoring the same relationship. Forgiveness is primarily about releasing bitterness and not forcing emotional closeness. Even after genuine forgiveness, wisdom may remain, caution may remain, and boundaries remain. Questions to ask yourself, can I pray for them honestly, not necessarily emotionally, but sincerely? Can I say, Lord, heal them, guide them, and deal rightly with them? Or two, do I still want emotional repayment? Do you still want them exposed, humiliated, rejected, or punished? If so, there may be unresolved bitterness. Does the memory still control me? A healed wound may leave a scar, but it no longer controls your peace. Number 4, am I free internally? Forgiveness produces freedom. Bitterness keeps you emotionally tied to the offense. Number 5, have I given God permission to handle justice? One major sign of forgiveness is surrendering judgment to God. Scripture says, do not revenge, but leave room for God's wrath. Forgiveness trusts God to judge rightly. Sometimes unforgiveness is directed at yourself. Many people think they have forgiven others while secretly condemning themselves. Signs include constant guilt, self-hatred, inability to move forward, punishing yourself emotionally, refusing grace for your own failures. Some people are harsher towards themselves than toward anyone else, but God also calls us to receive mercy. A mature view of enemies. Jesus did not teach denial of enemies. He taught freedom from hatred. Matthew 5:44 says, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Loving enemies does not mean pretending evil is good or allowing abuse or removing wisdom or abandoning boundaries. It means refusing to let hatred rule your heart. For your reflections, you know forgiveness is growing when peace increases, bitterness decreases, revenge loses power, compassion becomes possible, emotional freedom develops, and the offense no longer defines your inner life. Sometimes forgiveness is instant in decision but gradual in healing. And sometimes the clearest sign of healing is not emotional closeness. It is that the person is no longer has power over your heart. Thank you.